This is my favorite part of the new format is every week I just yak about putting up the link.
Yeah, every week. Yeah.
Every week. I got my idiosyncrasies and most of them are idiotic.
It's part of it. There we go. There it was.
Oh my God. Somebody stepped on a duck.
Hey, we're live. What's up, dark judges, desperados, and dudes in dick-shaped helmets? You're listening to Cursed Earth Radio, the one and only podcast coming to you live with zero fucks given on a semi-weekly basis. And here we are.
Okay, broadcasting outside the walls of Mega City 1 across Black Atlantic, North America. I'm Cool Johnny Cool.
This is Heavy Metal Kid.
And this week we're doing Prog 2274. Judge Dredd continues to be a dick in the Citadel. Kingmaker says, fuck you to your rules and regulations. Proteus Vex ended, and I gasped. Fiends of the Eastern Front. We talk about America's love for black magic. And Brink. The cult and the union's getting weirder and weirder.
The cult is alive. Here at Cursed Earth Radio with your best friends in the whole wide world. I think we already announced ourselves.
We sure did, and that's cult with a K, KVLT.
KVLT, yes, 100%. Hey, man, let's just go ahead and say it right off the bat. This cover has an awesome 2000 AD logo.
It does, but it still has two 2000 AD logos. What the hell? Seriously, guys. Stick with just the one, man. Just the one.
You're right. Why do they do that?
I don't know. It's like they stuttered.
Yeah.
It's like the cover is stuttering.
I've, as a listener to wrestling podcasts, I know the two of us both on and off have a love-hate relationship with Mr. Jim Cornette. But
yes,
tell you one thing. When I see those two logos, which I didn't even notice, man, I paid attention to the fantastic logo built into the cover, but I didn't see the other logo there. And it reminded me of when Jim Cornette says it's like putting a hat on a hat.
Yeah, it's no matter what's in the prog, no matter what time of year, there's always the two logos. And there's no good reason to have two logos on your cover. Pick a winner, run with it.
It's almost the same as like the absurdity of DC Comics, right?
Oh, I hate that. Detective Comics.
Yeah. So this is a very regional reference. So nobody listening will understand it. But I'll tell you what bothers me here locally. We have a bank called Mon Valley Bank, right?
Yes.
And their sign says MVB Bank.
Mon Valley Bank.
Yeah. It's an issue, man.
No, I'm totally there with you, man. You go back and listen to the old episodes. I'm sure I complain about the two logos on the cover of the Prog more than once. It's ridiculous.
Definitely not the first time you've mentioned it. And I'm one of those people, though, that I don't readily recognize it until you point it out. And then I'm like, yeah, that is fucked up. What's going on, man? I don't get it.
Now I'm pissed off about the Detective Comics again.
Right. For the past 40 years, I've been irritated about that. Yeah.
It's you're either Detectives Comics or you're DC. You can't be DC Comics because you're ridiculous. Stop it.
It's kind of hard though, man, because I don't think I've ever uttered the words, I'm going to buy some Detective Comics. And I don't think I've ever been like, I'm going to go get some DC. I always say I'm going to go get some DC Comics. Actually, I don't say anything now because I don't fucking buy DC Comics because they rebooted too many times on me and ruined it.
I get the graphic novels and I get my comics exclusively at Ollie's.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what. And if you're not from here in the States, we have a place called Ollie's. And do they ever get the shipments in of DC Comics? They get
do,
so
man.
Many.
Okay, we've talked about, I'm sure I've mentioned this in the podcast before. Remco had a line of action figures in the 80s called Mighty Crusaders. Mm-hmm. And they were they were drugstore toys, but I still loved them. And they had the Shield, the Fox, the Web. There were some other generic, non-copyright infringing heroes. Yeah. But I love the Fox because he was their Batman analog. Yeah. Kind of. I was at Ollie's like a month ago, and I found a comic book based on the Fox, and I was holy shit! I need to. And it screwed with my OCD because they only had volume 2,
Oh
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, God damn it. But when am I ever going to see this again? So yeah, we're getting the and it's called Fox Hunt. Watch it. It was just beautiful. And I was like, it's $2. How can I not buy volume 2 and just be hopelessly lost for $2? It'll be fine.
I mean, that's the plight of the bargain Ollie's shopper. Or there's a place that, in other parts of the United States that it's a very similar place called Mark's, and that's how it always is. You can get a nice hardcover edition of Batman Death in the Family or Death of the Family, but you're going to get like the 4th volume and not anything else. But it's a nice hardcover, nice leather bound edition. You just got to be okay with like either going and buying the rest at the actual price, which I'm never going to do, or just being like, here's my collection of incomplete graphic novels.
And even that in and of itself is a nice collection.
Yeah.
Collecting incompleteness.
Yeah.
But you know what? My reading of the Prog and my 2000 AD fandom has prepped me for you're always going to be confused, so jump in wherever.
Yeah, that's true. And with 2000 AD, it's just you're going to be confused partially because you get 6 pages. So if we're used to reading 2000 AD and you get an entire graphic novel and you can't catch up, that probably means it's not well written, right? I mean,
or you're a dum-dum, one of the two. I'm just saying.
I resemble that remark. So, by the way, I guess we should mention that it's been a little inconsistent with like, hey, we're starting at 7. Hey, we're starting at 7:30. That was me. But here we are, Johnny, whittling it down to like a 30-minute time frame versus, a couple of weeks. So we're doing better.
I'm just going to alter the advertisement for me broadcast to just put it some point during the week, whenever. Watch the Facebook page.
Yeah. Well, I think day of, we always try to shoot for Wednesdays because we've looked at other days, and it's really kind of the only day we've got. So you pretty much know Wednesdays is going to be our day if we can make it happen, unless something happens.
Thursdays, your fallback, unless my co-host's heart explodes, then it might be a Sunday. But
I also resemble that remark. Yeah,
I know, that's why I said my co-host. So I'm on Big Bad Toy Store right now, getting in because they just put up the pre-orders for Giant and Fire.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm looking at all the and Haya's got some great figures for the scale and the price point. They have a RoboCop 2 Kane robot for $50.
Oh, wow.
But it's 1/18th. So I'm like, God damn it. I want a 1/12. I will plunk down the money for a 1/12 Kane.
Yeah.
Because nobody does it. Everybody makes Ed. Where's the Kane? And they've got 2 variants. One, the standard version, and then they got the battle damage Kane with his face screen out of the helmet.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
But they've got some great stuff. Like they got the license for Aliens. They've got the APC personnel carrier from Aliens that is 1/18th scale, and it is $300. Jesus, I ain't buying that for.
Well, and Hiya Toys at this point, they can do no wrong because they did Judge Fire. I'll tell you though, I have not pre-ordered anything, and as we talk about it, it's like if I don't pre-order, there's a huge chance I'm not going to get these at the price because we saw what happened when A3 or 3A or whatever the fuck it was called. That company,
every week you struggle with that.
I can never remember. I'm dyslexic. What do you expect? When now if you want a Judge Death, you're like paying $250.
Yeah, if you don't get in, it's like anything you and I collect. It's records, comic books, limited run DVDs, T-shirts. Everything you and I collect is some dumb shit form of niche, and we are both Pavlovianly trained that if we don't jump on that FOMO, you don't get it on the pre-order, you're screwed.
Yeah. Mine is FOMOF, fear of missing fire.
Well, I do a lot of business on Big Bad Toy Store. I highly recommend them. Here's the plus: they don't charge you till that shit's in, and this shit's not coming until August. Oh, okay. So get your pre-order, and just do your thing. So there's Judge Dredd. I'm going down right now, actually, and grabbing everybody because apparently I thought I pre-ordered everybody, but I just did the thing that I do when we're out at like Target or Walmart, and I carry it around like I'm going to buy it, and then I set it down. So apparently I put them all in my cart and failed to hit the pre-order button.
Well, hit that pre-order, and we'll go ahead and start talking about that. We already got SJS in the chat saying that anybody who can't follow a graphic novel, if you jump in and get a whole graphic novel and you can't follow it, you've got to take the long walk. Now,
the SJS ain't fucking around.
There's one exception, and I'm going to say that is The Order, because I've read them all. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm a dummy. But hey, and we'll get to the real exciting thing about this week's. There's two really exciting things about this week's Prog, but someone else agrees with us that voiced their opinion at the end of this Prog. But let's start with Judge Dredd, the Citadel here.
Wait a minute. We are inadmissible evidence. So yeah, let's talk about the Citadel Part 5 and Joe still being a dick.
You know, man, this doesn't seem like Judge Dredd. Something's up. This is too dickish for Judge. I mean, and that says a lot, but this just feels like fucking out of character somehow.
Dude, every chapter I just gobsmacked at the wow, what a big bag of dicks. Okay, so before we get into that, I've got all my pre-orders in my cart. You're looking at $120 for all the available figures now.
There you go.
That's 6 figs, which ain't bad.
Yeah.
I should probably log in. But yeah, are we both hanging on to my theory that Winterton has a bullet in his frontal lobe and it cannot be trusted?
I just feel like we know Judge Dredd is a fucking cock, right?
Yes.
Like he's an asshole, but this is weirdly feels like, I mean, it feels out of character, but even the people that he's with are like, you're crazy. Like what's going on? Like they're even calling him sort of out on this too. So something's up. Is it like, I'm trying to go back to that time and like, okay, what could it be? But like, just something's up, man. Something's up with Dredd.
No, I totally agree. Like he tells the sit deaf guy that he will not hesitate to murder him. Yeah. And he's, like that's
for
not
little
Joe.
Shit, for little weird paranoid shit.
Yeah, this is Winterton with a bullet in his head, remembering incorrectly this entire thing.
Yeah, because I actually, we're part of a lot of Dredd groups, and I don't know which one it was, but somebody was like, in one of the groups was like, yeah, there's the old Dredd I know and love, and I was like, I don't feel like that's what this is.
No,
it's almost like when we read like
Inferno, right?
Yeah, and I'm reading this, and I'm just like, man, but this is the difference. This is not Grant Morrison writing a poor version of Dredd, because Grant Morrison, as great of a writer as he is, was not a good Dredd writer. This is John Wagner, so something's up, man. This guy knows Dredd, and this doesn't feel like Wagner Dredd to me. Maybe I'm fucking wrong.
No, I completely agree with you, dude. I completely agree. What the first thing I thought of was, oh shit, this Dredd's acting a lot like the Dredd we saw in Inferno that was just a dick for being a dick. And it's Wagner writing it. So yeah, something's not right. Unreliable narrator. Winterton's a lunatic. And I'm guessing he got put where he got put for being an annoying, mouthy asshole about it.
Yeah, something's up, man. So it's intriguing, it's even for me at this point, I've crossed over to like, okay, we reached the Citadel. They're really, really drawing this one out. The Citadel, but I'm less intrigued about what's in the Citadel and more intrigued about what the fuck's happening with Joe being mega dick. I mean, he's a mega dick always, but he's a super duper mega dick in this one. So what's up?
Uncharacteristically a dick. I mean, even more so than usual. And the Citadel looks like a decommissioned Barnes and Noble. So something's not jiving here.
It's a fucking Ollie's, man. He's gonna go in there and get all this Dredd stuff.
He's going in for that martial law.
Yeah.
And I can't believe you found a martial law. I have never had a pool like that at an Ollie's. The closest I got was what was it? I can't even remember. It was something about Creature Commandos. It was some weird DC collection from the 70s where legitimate monsters were fighting World War II. So I was all in. That's the coolest thing I pulled. I got a bunch of random Deadpool stuff and some Batman stuff, but I've never found something as cool as martial law.
Oh man, finding martial law on the bargain bin was earth shattering for me because I was already a huge Dredd fan, and I was like, wow, this is very Dredd-esque. Then I realized essentially, without being a 2000 AD comic, it's a 2000 AD comic, and it's one of the best. I fucking love it.
I need to get some. Is it still ongoing, or is it?
No, it's a one. It was like a one and done, and then they did a novel. And then they did a martial law Hellraiser crossover. So it was never like an ongoing thing, but like they did martial law versus Hellraiser, which was fucking bizarre, but cool. And yeah, then they did like a weird, like a novelization that was actually, I found that at Ollie's too.
So pretty easy to pick up and one fell swoop and read through everything.
Oh yeah. And in a post like The Boys world, it's a very interesting read. I'll just say that for sure. Fraser is in the chat. It says he's.
I saw that,
which means somebody's listening in the UK.
We should shout more. We should shout more. Wake them up.
I was going to say, I feel like there's no better way to go to sleep than with the soothing sounds of two idiots shouting in your ear.
Are we ASRM, AMSR, whatever the hell that is? ASL. BBQ.
Yeah, ATM. I don't know.
OMG, WTF.
Jesus Christ.
He's got nothing to do with this, bud. He's got nothing to do with this.
No. I'm much more interested in what the fuck's wrong with Dredd than what's in the Citadel. So we'll see. Maybe there's some sort of I don't know. Is there a fucking rogue Dredd clone?
What if the Citadel is like the Blue Oyster Bar from the Police Academy movies? They go in there and it's like a Turbo Negro concert and everybody's wearing assless chaps. That's the swerve. That's how this ends.
Hey, it's funny that you're mentioning Police Academy because I just had like a little Police Academy marathon not too long ago, which is fucking weird.
Well, I mean,
who does that?
When I had my last endoscopy done, I came home and I was still pretty high. Apparently they double dosed me for that procedure. And I felt like watching Police Academy 4 Citizens on Patrol was the right thing to do in that time frame.
We when my band was on tour, we got the collection and we just watched them all while we drove because we have a DVD player.
That sounds like a terrible idea, especially if 3D was driving.
Oh no! It's the driver didn't get to watch; they just got to listen, and then they would go, "What happened?" And they're like, somebody fell down. It's Police Academy. Nothing.
Dude, Police Academy is such a big part of my dad and mine's relationship because we watched them when I was growing up. At least through Police Academy 4. After that, I don't give a shit because they're gone. They don't matter because, like, I don't even think they had what the hell's his name? Steve Guttenberg past 4.
What we really need is a Judge Dredd Police Academy crossover.
Oh my God, it's the crossover that nobody knew they wanted.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with the Citadel, but something's wrong with Joe. Joe's a dick, but he's not this kind of dick. I don't know.
He's a dick on 12. That's what he is.
Yeah. So what about Kingmaker this week? No fucking dorky haircuts this week. I like
it was
a lot better.
We were bereft of bowl cuts, but we got a Battletoad.
Oh no, man. I'm digging this Battletoad too. He's cool as fuck.
Is it just me or does this contraption on the first page look like the World Engine from the Man of Steel?
It's been a while and I don't remember it, but
it's kind of serving the same purpose. It's gonna fuck up the world and make it into something else. Whereas they were trying to make a new Krypton. This is just trying to make a husk.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool here where the Battletoad guy who reminds me, he's like this story's version of Kedge Jadilak from The Out. But he reminds me of that kind of character, but he's explaining what's going on. And then Merlin the magician here goes, well, this is your new leader. You think he's an idiot? And they go through this whole thing. No, he's not an idiot. No, I'm so sorry. And the guy's like, yeah, actually just explain it to me like as if I were a layman because I'm totally a layman. So yeah, explain to me what's going on.
So is our dude's name, is the X in his name pronounced as an X or a Z? Is it Crixus or Crisis? Somebody sort it for me.
I'm saying Crisis, but fuck, who knows, man?
Because Crixus sounds like a breakfast cereal.
It actually sounds like a thrash metal band in the 80s.
Crixus. They went on tour with Hyrax.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this like whole I don't know, this turn that we got here. I'm so back and forth with Kingmaker, man. Like this week, I'm like, I dig this. I like where this is going, but I don't know if it's just the weird dorky haired super tall white alien people that I don't like, but this is cool. I like this.
He's picking a fight. He's trying. I'm assuming he's trying to lure the ball-cutted bastards down to the planet so he can give them a good motherfuckering.
Yeah. If there's nothing else going for Kingmaker, I can say like it is a very unique story in that like I never really fucking know where it's gonna go. Like I said last week, out of nowhere, we were like, there's some shots of present day. We look like sort of like Republican analogs walking around with their red hats on. It was just like a real weird, jarring shift that happens every so often in this, and I don't fully ever know what's going on.
In a good way, though. Unlike the Order, where we just never have a fucking clue. But I like that about Kingmaker because it's almost like Brink, the first chapter I read of Brink, or the first arc I read of Brink, where I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I was interested enough to find out where the hell we were going.
I think for me with Brink, I went into Brink and I read Brink. I think I read the one before we started too, but I went into Brink wanting to like Brink because I like the color palette and art style. Mm-hmm. Whereas with this, it's always a little bit harder of a sell for me when it's something that's like more like sword and sorcery. I'd love to know. We've got 8 people in the chat right now, which is just for us. Oh, we've got 9 people in the chat right now, which is a huge deal for us. I kind of want to know if you're in the chat right now and you read this week's Prog and you've been reading, what do you think of Kingmaker? Because I don't know, man. Like it's so strange being such an isolated fan. You never know what everybody else digs, except for like this week in the back of the Prog. Yes. As a matter of fact, Chelsea in the chat says congrats on our letter getting posted in the Prog, which it did, and we'll talk about that here at the end. But yeah, other than stuff like that, I don't know what people like. I don't know if Kingmaker's a hit, but I know fucking Proteus Vex is a goddamn hit. That's for sure.
You know, I honestly like kind of being isolated from the rest of the 2080 fandom because there are fanboys and fangirls out there, and they usually poison me towards any. I know, but we're isolated. I get to enjoy this on my own terms and make up my own mind, and I don't have to listen to people complain about it. You know, it's like hardcore fans fucking ruin everything for me. Like, be it music or movies or video games or comic books. The fans I'm talking about, the terrible fans.
Yeah. I don't know though, because it's like in so.
Are we terrible fans?
Well, I was going to say, I don't think it gets much more hardcore than people doing a podcast and having Judge Dredd tattoos. That is us.
Yeah, I know, but we're not trying to like hate on things. I know we bitch about the Order.
Yeah, to fans of the Order, we're those guys.
We are those guys.
Fans of the Order, we're those guys.
I know we don't. Like, the Order doesn't live in my head rent free. It's just so easy. It's such an easy joke for us now.
Oh, it lives in my head rent free, man. Rent fucking free.
It's okay. All right.
It's a squatter up in my head. It's a squatter. I don't know who's Francis fucking Bacon. I don't know.
Oh my God. You've really got to send Chelsea that episode where you have the fucking meltdown.
Yeah.
When I tell you that I knew the whole time, and that's where your issue from a couple of weeks ago started. It was just a time bomb.
Yeah.
That was the damage from that rant.
Yeah, it's true. But no, I know what you're saying, man. It is nice being somewhat isolated. And whenever we get to talk to somebody, like all the cool people that chat with us on our Cursed Earth radio page, like
all 9 of them,
all 9 of them. It is really cool because everybody's the people that gravitate towards our stuff. I think the super hardcore people are kind of like fuck these idiots, and they roll out. And all the cool people who are willing to hang out with a couple special boys, they come and they talk to us here on the podcast, and it's nice. And
it's always a positive interaction. Any interaction we have had with anybody in the fandom or people that actually make this the content that we cover weekly has been like 100% awesome. for almost 3 years, which is almost unheard of. That being said, Proteus Vex, I was both stoked and just bummed all at the same time, because I'm bummed because it's the last chapter, last of this arc. And my God, did Vex team master the art of cliffhanger.
And the funny thing is too, like, we kind of did this to ourselves.
We worked ourselves into a shoot. I'm well aware.
We did. Like, we were like worried about, Midnight. And then, someone was like, hey, it says that she gets away. And we're like, fuck.
I know, but here's the thing. We're reading 2000 AD. And I don't trust 2000 AD to not fuck me over, because they do it often. And I am Pavlovianly trained to expect a terrible, miserable ending to every story because of where we are and what we're reading.
I think, one of the things that got me about this one was we have developed as a podcast, Midnight Indicating Shame has become our favorite. And we worry about Midnight Indicating Shame because she's that bratty little sister. We don't want to see her come to any harm. And so I think we kind of went through this thing going like, when is Vex going to save Midnight? And it doesn't seem like he's going to. And it's like, oh yeah, Midnight is a murder machine that does not need saving. There's no fucking damsel in distress here.
Yeah, I was going to say, our princess does not need a knight in shining armor to come rescue her. She is going to eat everything between her and freedom. And I was so stoked because she got her moment in the sun. We've been waiting for this for the whole arc. And when, like, you covered it, we know that she doesn't die here. But when she deflated after being given the poison, my heart sank. And my head knows that she lives. But when I got to that panel, my brain went, oh, goddamn. Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
And then, did Vex plan this, or did she just use what he left behind to save her ass?
It's maybe it just comes down to one of those things where it's like Vex knew that Midnight was capable of taking care of herself. I don't know. I mean, clearly, I guess it would seem that maybe there was an understanding there. There really is no sadder panel in Proteus Vex than this one where Midnight says, I don't want to die. And she's like real sad. She's looking down. Because even if she knew at that point that she, wasn't going to die, that she had this plan, she does know that she has to literally kill her entire race. And there has to be a little bit more than just, I'm killing everybody, fuck you all, that's the end. It's like you're killing your family.
I don't know if she just killed everybody, all the wardens and the interrogators that were between her and that ship. She didn't have to kill the whole hive.
Yeah. But no, right. But like, these are people, like, even as they are leaving, they're like, oh, I really didn't want that. I didn't want to kill Midnight. These are all people that are like steeped in this tradition, and they're, just
that
terrible.
Panel where she has gone full on sandworm
Yeah.
is the first time Jake has drawn her going full on sandworm, isn't it?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And Jake, you nailed it, bud. It's amazing. And I was so stoked. It was like, oh, here we go. And then it says end of book 3. And I went, oh, God damn it. Oh, God damn it.
Yeah. I
feel got me all worked up. And
yeah, I feel like I understand so much more now how this race works. So like, it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen those amazing sculptures that are made of paper, and like it could be like somebody's like a bust, and someone pulls it and it just like expands infinitely. Do you know what I'm talking about? I feel like this is how Midnight works. And I wonder if anybody's in the chat has seen these things. But yeah, it's like one of the things I like about this universe is the fact that nothing has to make any sort of sense. Like, it's always like you just kind of get an idea of how these creatures are. But I feel like this chapter, I kind of understand how everything works a little bit more. And
I've never tried to apply any rules of logic or reason to Midnight, because she exists completely outside of any of that.
And she knows how to pilot a goddamn ship, that's for sure.
See, here's my theory, and I want to hear yours. In the last chapter, we saw Vex in the Farago, with the surviving Imperium agents hightailing it out, going to get something. And I think he was headed back to get the Ciceronians to help out, because I don't think anything else could take it down a Scorcher except the Ciceronian. And now I think that Midnight's leaving to go find Vex. So in the next chapter, are we just going to get them star-crossed, trying to find each other the whole time?
I'm hoping that the next chapter, and now thanks to our Tharg's response, we know, of course, we're getting more. I really, really, really hope that they reunite. Like, we've spent almost an entire book with the fucking dynamic duo apart from one another. So I want a nice, quick reunion. Fucking band is back together, and man, Midnight's been through a character arc here. Like, so that'll be interesting too, to see. Like, I don't know, there's going to be repercussions, even psychologically, for this character, who, like, in kind of in a way, seems like we're seeing this character go from, like, a naive, like I said, the bratty little sister, to, like, somebody who's been through some shit. And I hope we don't just gloss over the effect that would totally have, all the stuff that Midnight's been through, and then rejoining, Vex to continue whatever fucking, path Vex takes. I would love to see those two back together again.
I believe that she's going to be the one to change the culture of the Ciceronian hive.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be the harbinger of change, whether she has to eat a bunch of them or not. And it'll be changed for the better. And I also can't wait, because we both hate the Scorchers now, because they are entitled space dicks.
Yeah.
And they think that they are untouchable, but I don't think they've ever crossed paths with the Ciceronians. And they about to learn.
Man, my arc of, like, my feelings towards the fucking Scorchers was, like, I went from being Worf in that episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, where he looks at these hideous creatures and he's like, what a handsome race. That was me. And now I'm like, you fat fuck, rock dick, clayface looking entitled bitches. Like, that's how I feel about them now. And it completely changed. Yeah,
I'm right there with you, because at first I was like, oh, they're like this noble ancient race. No, big bag of dicks.
Yeah. I'm so bummed, man. I it's like bittersweet, because I'm sad that we don't get to talk about Vex anymore, man. This has been it's been our favorite thing. So what goes in place of Vex? What's taking its spot?
We can bring in, we know Farrell & Foe's coming back for another chapter. We know that The Out is due back. We know that, what was the other one that was coming back? There was another one of our favorites that was going to come back. You know what I was thinking of? Can we please get back to Dead World and finish that fight? Because we're just kind of hanging in the ether right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm also curious, on a side note, our friend Chelsea's in the chat right now. This is her first time she ever got to meet Midnight. She's not read any of the other stuff.
Right.
So I know, like, this is somebody that we know personally, and like hyped him up on Proteus Vex, and all our talk about our favorite character, and this is the first time that they've met. So hopefully it was worthwhile. It really was took a long time to get back to Midnight, but it was a good Midnight chapter.
Yeah, I mean, I did miss having her the whole time, because, when she eats a whole spaceship full of space dolphins, or just goes fucking butt fuck nuts on everything, and I missed having that. But I'm guessing we're going to get that in book 3 or book 4.
Yeah, I think so. So Fiends of the Eastern Front. One interesting. What's going on with the art? I don't understand. Am I missing why it's like this? What's happening?
What? It doesn't look any different. I know. It doesn't look any different than the last chapter.
I don't understand why we're looking through It's cool. It's cool and weird, but I'm just like, I don't know why this is happening.
What the UK and America are both trying to figure out what happened to the U-2 spy plane pilot over Russia.
Okay.
I mean, so, and they're both trying to enlist the favor of Constanta
Okay.
as a secret agent, because apparently that's what Constanta is doing since World War II. And
so
now
why are we looking through the blinds? What's happening?
What blinds?
Fuck off.
No, I'm serious. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, so you've read Fiends of the Eastern Front.
Yes.
And you've seen the art for page 1.
Uh-huh.
Page 20 of the digital prog.
Yes.
Page 22 of the digital prog.
Yeah.
What the fuck's happening?
I don't know what you're talking about. I seriously don't.
Dude, open it up on your device.
I'm looking at it.
Okay, do you see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little sliver panels?
No.
Oh my god. Look,
no, you're glitched.
There's no way I'm fucking glitched, man. There is no way I'm glitched out.
I'm gonna send you a picture of my cover, my page 20.
All right, yo, if you're listening in the chat, you've got to know what I'm talking about. There's no way I have a strange glitch, unless I can't imagine this would be a glitch.
Here, check your message.
Oh, I feel so bad for our listeners. They have to.
No, they're here of their own free will. It's not like we brought them here with promises of.
Holy fuck!
I told you.
I'm
PDF
glitched.
I told you your PDF is glitched.
Yo, listen, I'm glitched.
I told you. Is it through that whole
Dude, I thought this was some bizarre artistic choice. I just sent you an image and we'll post it.
Oh, no, you are boned. Your PDF is glitched to shit and back.
So, like, I'm reading this.
And it's stretched, too. Like, it's smushed it into all these different parts.
But in some ways, because the word bubbles are in the right places, I thought it was some sort of just very like vague, like, I don't know, reference to secrecy or something.
Artistic statement. No, your PDF's all fucked up.
Okay. Well, so my whole understanding of this chapter is skewed because I spent a good little while going like, what the fuck are they trying to do?
Are you on your phone with this or?
Yeah.
Okay. I would bet the 2080 app's gone fucky for some reason on this part.
Well, I'm sure glad that I didn't
rant about your fucked up PDF.
Yeah. So yeah, I got a weird version of this week though, but
you got the edit.
Yeah. So what? I don't know. How do you feel about this? I don't know.
Well, we're getting the Cold War espionage now. I like it because we find out that the U.S. is also fucking with black magic. Yeah. But they do it on the down low because we're such an upstanding Christian nation that it might make them upset and afraid.
Yeah,
that we had a paranormal division. I got some Hellboy vibes from this.
Yeah, definitely has some Hellboy vibes. I really do like the art a lot. And again,
it's even better when it's not in 9 chunks.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the pages that I did have, and it's weird because the way it was spaced out, it kind of looked like it was intentional. The pages that I did have, and by the way, I thought you were trying to convince me that I had had a stroke.
No, I wasn't gaslighting you. I was being honest.
It was a first time for everything.
Go fuck yourself.
So yeah, something about this artwork. You're right. It's got major Hellboy vibes. I mean, story wise as well. But I guess we could say, hey, Fiends of the Eastern Front was around before Hellboy, right? The original.
Yeah.
This is cool. I don't know how much I love it yet, but I don't mind coming back to this. It's still like when I tally up the stories in the prog at the end, it was still a 5 out of 5 for me.
Agreed. I am a little leery now because Vex is leaving. So yeah, I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah. Well, we know it's not going to be the Order, so we'll survive.
It's looking up. Oh man, we're that podcast. Damn it.
Yeah. Brink is, however, is maybe with Vex gone, and Dredd being weird. Dredd's a hard one. Like, it's almost like when someone goes like, "Oh, what's your favorite band?" and you don't say the Ramones because you're like, "Well, the Ramones don't count. They're in a class of their own." Or for you, it'd be Turbo Negro. It's like I kind of don't even count Dredd because it's like, yeah, we're here for Dredd, and then some things are better than Dredd sometimes, and this and that. But for me right now, Brink is the top of the heap, even above Dredd. I tend to look forward to reading Brink more than I do Dredd right now. So I just like this universe, man. I like the world that Brink exists in, and now we're starting to get to the place where it's really becoming interesting.
You know what I miss? Remember the last chapter where every time they'd cuss, you'd hear "fine."
Yeah,
I miss that.
But it's still happening.
No, well, they're not getting they're cussing, but it's not. You're not getting fined by the censor robot, which I always like that because it was so silly.
It was so very Demolition Man.
We need to do a watch along for Demolition Man.
Yeah. I'll never forget that one of the things he says when he decides he needs toilet paper and he just goes and starts cussing out the robot. He says "duck fuck." I'll never forget
that. So our author here is obviously trustworthy because our heavy Habsec comes in, gives him the business, and then finds him after he leaves and says, "You can be found," right?
Yeah.
So
it was cool.
So he seems to be the most reliable source and way to get the truth out. And I think they know that this guy obviously knows it, even after giving him the business about being a journalist and, slandering Habsec.
Yeah. I liked how this unfolded. And like, I thought it was like just a great moment between the characters and, again, dude, how fucking good. Like at the end of the day, just like how good is Dan Abnett as a writer? How fucking good is this guy? He's so good.
He made me like Brink, and I have on paper our podcast and Brink, it would be a no because but Abnett's writing is so good. He sucked me into this world.
Yeah.
With all this minutia and fine detail. And I'm like, oh, I got to know more now. I have to know more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I don't know. That's the power of Dan Abnett is like you can read something that he wrote and be like, I don't know, but he really manages to like pull you in, and he does every time. Like the out should not have been something that I like.
Yep.
Feral and Foe should not have been something that I like.
Here we are.
I don't really dig on the sword and sorcery. Brink had me before I knew who Abnett was in terms of like I think. When I read my very first Brink, I was reading in a more casual way, but I was reading weekly, and I didn't make the connection that like, oh, this is the guy that made me love Warhammer novels. This is the guy that, I have played Warhammer in the past, but his Horus Heresy is stuff that's way beyond my level of understanding of Warhammer, and it was captivating, and so like then everything that he's involved in, like I think he's become one of my very favorite writers for 2000 AD and the stuff that he does even outside of it. So yeah, man, it's good. Everything he touches is good.
Agreed. And like I said, his writing has made us like strips that we have you would never expect us to like. So I love the fact that the union ritual has just gone completely off the rails now. Your face is not known. Shut up, you fuck. You are from outside. Your face is not known. Burn it black. Burn it off.
And then he's, Bill, is that you?
Oh, they have a flamethrower at the ready for face burnings.
This is definitely some fucking eyes wide shut shit. I'm telling you, man. In this room, it's that fucking music. Just people fucking. And we just haven't seen it yet. But
they're doing that over in Kingmaker. That's where all that's happening.
This is what happens when union guys like this is how like you hear about like someone goes into the mines and they'll like tape them to the ceiling and put grease in their boots. It's just horseplay. It's just horseplay is all this is. That's going to be the big twist. Is like, we're just fucking with you. Welcome to the union, bud.
Let me take my headdress off so you can see the real me. We're just, none of this is real.
And I know we've been accused of being sexually preoccupied on this podcast.
We have? Who
but I'm telling
us?
you, shit like this doesn't go down without people fucking. I'm just telling you, it doesn't go down without people fucking. You know why, Johnny?
Why?
The ween always wins. That's if you need something to remember in life, always. If you're wondering how things are going to turn out, the ween always wins. And that's why we say wiener at the end of every episode, actually, because the ween truly does always win. Don't believe me? Bill Clinton. The ween always wins. How'd he go down? The ween got him in trouble, man. So I'm just saying there's fucking going on down here in this union meeting.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, no. Brink is cool. Glad it's in the Prog. And Mac Anorak in the chat says that Intestinauts and Hope is what we have coming next.
Oh man, we haven't Intestinauts. We love that one.
It's fucking bizarre.
And Hope has some major nostalgia vibes for the podcast because that's where we started. Hope Under Fire.
Yeah. That was one too that it was like at the time when we were reading it felt like nothing else in the Prog. It was kind of like, yeah, man, this is way different and very eldritch and that's up our alley for sure. So cool. And In the Shadows are inbound soon. I don't know what In the Shadows is, man.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah. So let's talk about the super exciting thing that happens at the end of this Prog, which is we got our letter published, man.
Yeah. I either Tharg read it and looked on it favorably and published it, or they just didn't have enough letters to publish in this issue and we got in by default. Either way, we're in the Prog.
Yeah. So we have to buy physical copies of this so we can own them and have them pass them down to generations. Hey, they did edit my letter. They edited one part of my letter.
They took out the paragraph about dicks, didn't they?
No, I actually I refrained from two things when I was writing this. I was like, number one, I'm not gonna mention our podcast because you know what? I'm not trying to write in to get us attention, whatever. We're
doing it grassroots style.
Grassroots style, yeah. We're happy with our four viewers. But I also didn't want to mention wieners because that might get weird. But where they censored it at the very end of our letter, I said, thanks for everything, Tharg. And please ask Rob Williams to explain how he put the moon back after end of days. And then you see there's three little periods there. Because after that, I said something to the effect of my friend, it would calm my friend down, or I forget exactly what I said, but it was a reference to like, my friend needs this.
Well, thank you for putting that in there. At least they got the question in there. I hope maybe Rob will read that and actually answer and put it to bed forever.
Yeah, you notice I did feel like they glossed over this whole Red Road thing, right? Did you get that vibe?
Yeah, they did bold Tharg's Thriller instead of, they should have made the Red Road font bold. That's what we were asking about. Yeah.
Here's what I said. And please ask. No. I guess I'm sorry. That's not true. I just said, please ask Rob Williams to explain how I put back the moon after end of days. Okay, never mind.
Oh, so my co-host is Witterton now.
Yeah. Unreliable narrator. Yeah.
That's the whole podcast, bud.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hope in the Shadows is the new series of Hope. So Hope Under Fire was the one we got before. Hope in the Shadows is the new one. So,
and Lord knows we need a lot of hope right now.
We do. But man, it was cool to get a letter published. I feel like that was a benchmark for any 2000 AD reader.
We did it.
I feel like our voice has been heard.
Should we quit now? Is that the apex?
In this business, probably. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. Oh, here we go. Wait a minute. The chat's answering here. Mac Anorak says, didn't they just use the same energies that moved the moon in the first place to put it back again? I think for us, well, I'm just a dummy, but for Cool Johnny Cool, it wasn't how they got it back, I guess, as much as it was how come it didn't fuck up everything in the world.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, and here we are again. If you pull the moon out of its orbit, you're gonna wreck the fucking Earth. Yeah. Just a little out of orbit, the tides are fucking going crazy, daylight's going crazy, the werewolves are losing their shit, and it deserved a resolution, a visual resolution. But the fucking Talking Horse and Burrito got that. Meanwhile, they just like the moon being pulled out of its orbit and put back was the fucking sea story. By the way, it's fine. It's a whole celestial body. We moved twice, but never mind.
I'm thinking about, I think I've mentioned this before, but I'll bring it up again. Maybe we got some new listeners. Dude, even in The Tick, when Chairface Chippendale wrote his name on the moon and didn't get to finish it, I think he just got a CH on there. It never went away. So if The Tick can keep their moon continuity, I mean, we got to hold Rob Williams, who is, by the way, one of the great Dredd writers. There's no doubt about that. Like, he's done so much good shit. He's one of our favorites. He's responsible for Pin. And that's enough right there to, you can fucking retire after you add a character like Pin into the mix. So he's definitely he's good, but we're nerds. We need to know.
Yep. And I didn't mention this during our discussion of the Citadel story. They were in the Undercity, and I didn't see one damn werewolf.
Yeah, when the Undercity comes in again, for you, the moon. For me, the Undercity. I'm like, oh, okay, so you just concreted over the existing city, but it doesn't do it for me, man. Like that doesn't make sense unless they have some sort of space age concrete that can be
glass steel.
I don't understand it, and it's never made sense, and it's really stupid. But it's a part of 2000 AD that I accept because I'm like, that shit was created back when it was, hey kids, it's Billy and the Magic Soccer Ball this week. Like, I'm good with that, It's just something they have to deal with. But the good writers, my favorite writers in comic book history, always take the dorkiest shit and turn it into the coolest shit. Grant Morrison.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't looking for the one steel girder that's holding up all of Mega City 1 while we were down there.
Yeah, right. Oh, God.
And hey, I'm guessing we're getting close to the wiener, but I want to remind everybody we do have the virtual con this weekend for 2000 AD, and Jake will be there. Jake Lynch will be doing a thing. So you and I need to figure this out. We need to do something about this.
I'm so excited. Okay, chat says it's not concrete, it's rockcrete, bitches. So who knows what rockcrete is capable of? That's true. I don't understand how this
one girder's holding it up.
Yeah, sure. I don't understand how the virtual con works this weekend, but
we need to figure it out.
Virtual panel, we got to go and bother all of our favorites, and maybe we can even bother Rob Williams. Is Rob Williams going to be there? I didn't see the final lineup.
I don't know, but I know Jake's going to be there. So what we need to do, you and I, what's your Saturday look like, bud?
What day is Saturday? I don't even know. It's pretty good. I can make time. That's for sure. I got stuff, but I can make time.
Let's figure it out. Maybe we can go live and bother Jake whenever Jake's panel's happening.
Yes. I don't know how that would happen, but let's do it.
We'll figure it out. I mean, and so, make sure you all look into the con. As soon as we figure it out, we will put details on our Facebook page because we know we're the oracle that you all look to. We take our job seriously, I think. I do want to say this. I notice we keep getting new followers on Facebook. We get people subscribing on the YouTube channel. And anytime I see us getting a follower or subscriber, it does warm my heart because we just started doing this because we love doing it. And I don't think either one of us ever thought we'd get much traction, but we were just happy to hang out and talk about Judge Dredd. And to see that people are listening and enjoying the dumb that we do and the lack of quality and the lack of continuity, and you're all still listening. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. And thank you all for taking this ride with us. And even if you're just laughing at Mom's Special Boys stumbling their way through 2000 AD, and it's been awesome. You know, I love doing this every week. I look forward to it. It definitely got us through the pandemic, and I think it's strengthened our friendship. And we've done things on the podcast and gotten to talk to people, and there's some other stuff lurking out in the shadows that we can't talk about yet, but there will be a day that I never would have thought we would have got there from where we started. And yet here we are. And to think we've been doing this for almost 3 years is fucking crazy.
Yeah. And also, if you're listening to this, whether or not you're in the chat now or you're listening live, it probably would really be helpful if you go to some of those Dredd groups and share it. We are way too fucking prideful to go share our own stuff because it's so hard to be that guy. Hey, listen to my podcast. But you know, we were on Podomatic for a while. We still have some stuff up on Podomatic, but the weight of trying to get those episodes edited and uploaded, and you know, it's a whole thing, not even worth going into, but it's like to post one, you have to delete two, and then you have to do this and that. And so we ended up going here to save the podcast. So we're still trying to actually spread the word that we're still here. And I don't know how many of our, you know, because back when we had people posting stuff, and you know, we had a good group of people who were like supporting it in the Dredd groups. That was when we were on Podomatic. So we've met people who were like, "Oh yeah, I thought you guys died." And
well, that's why I put it on the Instagram, like when we broadcast, and now then we were doing good there for a while, and it's kind of slid off. We're back to fucking whenever we can get it. But
and as always, the chat knows more than we do. Not only a good explanation of Rockcrete, but Mac is also saying that he thinks a lot of the panels are pre-recorded. So we'll see who we can bug. If somebody does something live, we're gonna go bug them. But I'm like way excited for this, even though it's a digital con. I'm like real excited for it because like you know, I had my last year, I almost made it to a real 2000 AD con and missed out. So this is the closest I'm ever gonna get.
Maybe we can pull some strings and get some parts of the Vex team live this weekend on like a Saturday, if possible.
Yeah, you never know. It may be possible.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do, but we'll definitely post details for the con on the Facebook page. But sincerely, from myself and HMK, thank you all for listening to this fucking train wreck of a podcast. I'm glad people are getting entertainment out of this, because I can honestly say, if there was nobody listening, it would be the exact same podcast. I know it would be, because it has been at a myriad of sheets and get-goes at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Unchanged, completely unchanged.
Yeah. So I guess with all that said, there's only one more thing.
Give him a nifty wienering so you can go get your death metal fix.
Hey, this is Cool Johnny Cool and Heavy Metal Kid. Cursed Earth Radio. Wiener.